York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from the Knick Of Time show. Here to give you that Knicks talk, just Knick Of Time. Let's be ratchet today. And today we're gonna talk about the Knicks winning. What was that? 5 in a row or something? We beating the Nuggets 122 to 112 at home, and it's another feel-good win, right? OG Anunoby gave you 23 points and 4 rebounds. We had Cat, who gave you 14 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. Mikal Bridges gave you 13 points. He gave you a steal and 2 assists as well. Deuce McBride gave you 12 points and 4 assists on the night. And then you go, so we had Jalen Brunson, who gave you a whole 30 points and 15 assists on the night. Hart also chipped in with 15 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. The Knicks passed that rock, all right? We be getting 30 assists like every game. 33 assists today for this Knicks. We also forced 14 turnovers. 14 to the Nuggets. We scored 23 points off of those turnovers. And the bench once again showed up, scoring 27 points to the Nuggets 24. And we're going to talk about it all. The good, the bad, the ugly. It's a little bit of ugly, but there's a lot of good, a lot of optimism. And you know what, Ebony? When I'm looking at this game and I'm seeing the way we're playing consistently, defensively, sharing the ball, how everything's on a string on both sides of the ball, is starting to look more and more like a contending team and not like a fluke. So I'm loving this one. I'm loving this. So I'm gonna just toss it to my girl, ex D1 baller, Ebony. Get your thoughts, man. What's going on?
I'm loving the way this team is playing. I don't know what it seems we're growing each game, and that's all we as fans we can ask for. They're leaving it out all out on the the court, and they're playing together on both ends. I can't wait to dig into the pause to this game because it was a lot of good and things we've been asking for of them all season. They're doing, and it just looks like they figured some stuff out.
Yeah, you know what? And I'm going to talk about how masterful Jalen Brunson is. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about how masterful Deuce McBride has been. I'm going to talk about how masterful OG Anunoby has been. I'm going to talk about those guys, but what I really want to start off talking about is the defense, because for me, the defense all season has been that thing that makes me think, you know what, I'm not sure where this team is. Offensively, I can see flashes, I can see stretches. I'm not worried offensively, really, but defensively, I felt like we started off the season kind of playing defense whenever the hell we wanted to. And these last 3 games, it seems like we are making it a habit. And we're taking pride in our defense. You're seeing multiple efforts. You're seeing a lot of deflections. You're seeing Wingstop, OG Anunoby, and Mikal Bridges take pride in their defense. You're seeing Josh Hart also join into the fray, helping out where he needs to, whether it be deflecting balls, passing lanes, recovering loose balls, or whatsoever. We see Precious Achiuwa coming in off the bench, doing a masterful job, just covering a lot of ground, whether it be challenging shots at the 3-point line or rotating to the rim. Deuce McBride with the point of attack, ball pressure, people covering for each other. And we're seeing consistently for almost 4 quarters. I feel like this one was like not quite 4 quarters, but like 3 quarters and most of the third quarter, like a statement. But still, like, the consistency defensively for this team is going to be the difference between what makes us a kind of a fluke team and a championship contending team. And that's why I wanted just to start off talking about how good the defense was today.
I'm always with talking about defense first. You already know.
Yeah. I already know this.
But yes, the defense is gelling. We playing. It was a one play stuck out to me because it showed our growth on that end. I believe it was fourth quarter, and it was Josh Hart had Jokic. He had Jokic and he was fronting him. And any other time they would have threw it over his head and that'd have probably been the N1 and we would have been upset, right? But the new improved Knick defense, OG is Roman. He's Roman,
Yes.
definitely. So he comes in that back end and he almost causes a steal when they pass it to Jokic. Russell Westbrook gets the loose ball and he thinks he has another mismatch against Towns, who plays a great angle, recovers and blocks the ball when he tries to take him to the bucket. So that showed two things right there that we've been having issue, keeping people in front of us on perimeter
Mm-hmm.
and on them, especially in the mismatches. And when we do have mismatches, like the small on the big, like we've mentioned countless time on this show, it happened, but it wasn't a detriment to us today. Like our help defense has been there. It's been
Yes.
on point. It's been very sharp. The hands, the deflection, everything. Even I think OG had two back-to-back steals that led to points. It was a clear path foul for one of them, and I think it was a Mikal Bridges or Hart fast break layup. But just one of those steals happened. I mean, forced turnovers happened because he was just in the passing lane and he was able to hit the ball off of, I think it was Jokic or somebody like or just another Denver player. He was able to hit the ball off of them and gain us another possession. So our defense and Mikal's been locked in.
Yeah.
He's been super locked in on that end, fighting through screens like a madman, going through them screens, very aggressive. Murray had some buckets on him, but he was making him work.
Yeah.
So that's all you can ask. We're making teams work, and we are reading scouting reports and attacking other teams' flaws. That has been the theme lately in these last couple of games, especially in this win streak. Uh, Denver is a team that's the bottom of the league and getting back on. They're the number one fast break team, but they also are a team that's you can run on. I think
Right.
they're like number 20 and opposite opponents off a transition and fast break point. Sorry, number 26 to be exact. I wrote it down. And New York is number 6, so we're not known to give up a lot of transition points. So it was going to be the battle of the will, and I think that was the difference between the first quarter and second quarter. We stopped a lot of their transition. I mean, first half and the second half, we stopped a lot of their transition in that second half to kind of make them fully force them into being a one-on-one team. We held the number one assist team. The averages, I believe, around 33 assists a game to what 21. Jay, did
Yep.
they have 21?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's taking Jokic, making him a scorer, not a facilitator. He was basically almost a non-factor today. Um, we just defensively we locked in. We're locked in. They're reading them scouting reports and they're putting them to use. They are really. They said we're going because from the get-go you could tell we were trying to get into transition. That was something that they were really trying to do this game. They started right out the gates. So just everything. We're looking so good. It's making me speechless. I ain't even gonna hold you.
Yeah. Transition. Like we picked off from the last game on how we've been playing on transition. The thing is, though, I felt like the transition offense started to get away from us after a while because we were getting to the hoop, but we wasn't scoring, and
Mhm.
that's kind of how Denver was able to catch up. It's like, man, for all the good defense he was playing, he wasn't able to finish on the other end. So Denver was kind of able to creep back in the game because, we just wasn't hitting free throws. We were missing our layups in transition. And the Denver Nuggets, they just creep back into the game by that third quarter. They were actually up in the third quarter by 8. But this is when you got to talk about the captain and Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson just took over the game. And you know what? You already know, like, one of the Denver Nuggets weaknesses is going to be that screen navigation involving Jokic. We got him in early foul trouble with some screen navigation in that first quarter. But then Jalen Brunson just took that one concept and torched him mercilessly, play after play after play. Just so you guys know, Jalen Brunson, 93rd percentile when it comes to pick and roll as a ball handler. And he did it in every which way. He got to the hole. He passed He passed it out to 3-point shooters, whether it be OG Anunoby or Mikal Bridges. Precious Achiuwa played off him masterfully, kind of just got into the dunker spot for open shots. And then Jalen Brunson was just able to just blow by the whole all of the Nuggets defensive lines and just kind of got a bunch of layups. He really was able to do whatever they wanted. Whatever he wanted to the whole game. And then when they decided to try to take the ball out of Jalen Brunson's hands, the Knicks responded and were able to play off him perfectly. So this was like one of those games from Jalen Brunson. It was like the perfect balance of an attacking guard mixed with a playmaking guard. This is like the best of both worlds. We got, you know what? I'm going to attack you for the whole third quarter, have you on the heels. The fourth quarter, I'm just setting up my teammates. And now you end up with a masterclass of a Jalen Brunson game with 30 points and 15 assists on the night with 2 steals, mind you. Because that boy playing defense as well, just in case you didn't know.
He had a block. I saw it too. It was a block up there in the stats. I don't remember it, but I saw it on the stats. I said, yeah.
Did he have a block? He had a block. Let me check these stats real quick. Yeah, he had a block. Oh, that's right. He did have a block because because the block hit I forgot who it was and went out of bounds and they had to challenge it.
Yeah, he playing better defense. I kill him on that. He's taking way better angles, playing way smarter defense, definitely.
Absolutely. So game board to me, absolutely. 1 goes to the Knicks defense as a whole. 2 just goes to Jalen Brunson, who's just been playing really well on both sides of the ball. And we wouldn't be in this game without Jalen Brunson because Karl-Anthony Towns was in foul trouble, so we had to lean on him a lot, which is why now I also want to talk about Precious Achiuwa. Because, Precious Achiuwa kind of started off this game slow. But when I talk about the defense and when I talk about the second unit, Precious Achiuwa, especially in that first half, really stood out to me. I was watching an interview with Precious Achiuwa, and he talked about how he's been kind of tentative to kind of sprint full speed and dunk because he was kind of scared that he would re-injure himself. But now, obviously, he's extremely comfortable, and he seems like he's even more active in attacking the basket in transition, getting into those dunker spots, and playing defense, being a help defender, and actually taking that matchup of playing Jokic one-on-one, and he did pretty well against Jokic one-on-one once Karl-Anthony Towns got into foul trouble. Now, granted, I'm not going to hold you. Jokic, to me, kind of let Precious Achiuwa off the hook a little bit because Jokic outweighs Precious Achiuwa by like 65 pounds. So he could have easily just kind of brought Precious Achiuwa into the post and operated that way. I'm kind of thankful and grateful that he chose to go just kind of pass and settle for 3-point shots because that could have been really bad for us. But really glad that Precious Achiuwa was able to step up, and he actually played 25 minutes today. Had 8 points, only 1 turnover and a steal, and played a lot of good help defense from Precious Achiuwa. I don't know where Ebony went, so I can do this thing like I do with Dolo. But while we're talking about the bench, there's one guy I absolutely want to highlight when it comes to the bench, and that's Deuce McBride. Because there was another pivotal part of this game that happened in the fourth quarter. Jalen Brunson, after Jalen Brunson went on his run in the third quarter, he didn't really get a rest. And I understand Tibbs' hesitancy to give him a rest because Jalen Brunson was cooking. There was nobody can stop him. He was in one of those zones where you just don't want to disrupt the groove, so you just let it be what it is. But in the fourth quarter, the Nuggets were playing the Nuggets were playing Joker and Jamal. And Tibbs chose to play the bench with OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. And he could have easily tried to go back to he could have easily gone back to Brunson to try to come back to scoring. But he didn't do that. He leaned on Deuce McBride, and he's responded. Oh shoot. Okay, shout out to Ebony. She said she tried to be back. She had to take care of something real quick. And the thing that impressed me about Deuce this game more than any other game is you still starting to see growth from last year to this year. This season, we're going to be calling on Deuce to do more and more scoring off the bench because we don't really have a number one go-to option off the bench. And what I saw from Deuce is not just being a spot-up shooter. He was actually able to call his own number and shoot a couple of mid-range shots contested over the defense. That changes things completely for us. Because before we just kind of depended on, campaign getting into the paint, shifting the defense, and Deuce getting an open shot. Now, if we can depend on Deuce to not only hit open threes, not only get dribble penetration, but also become like a 3-level scorer and start to shoot the ball in the mid-range consistently over defense, that changes a lot for us, man. That changes a lot. That gives us another go-to weapon. That gives us a 3-level scorer off the bench. That's something that we really didn't have. And that being on one of the best contracts in the NBA. So, this might be one of my favorite Deuce games, low-key, just because I'm starting to see his role progress and becoming something that we desperately need, which is a scorer off the bench. Because I've seen the chatter on Twitter. I've seen the chatter with you guys on Knicks Land talking about it was getting down on Deuce. They wanted to trade for all these other guys off the bench to help us produce scoring. But, people have to realize that he was going through injuries, and that's why the slumps were coming. And the more, if he stays healthy and in rhythm, we should see Deuce be able to produce more like he did today and be even more effective off the dribble as time goes on. Because if you remember, when he first got into the league, Deuce was a mid-range killer. He wasn't a three-point shooter. He was a guy who set up in the mid-range and was able to shoot over defenses in the mid-range as he came into the league. And then as his role progressed with the Knicks, he never really touched that part of his game, really. Like, the first part of his game that really developed here was the three-point shooting. So now he's getting back to his roots of just being a mid-range killer, and that's going to pay off dividends for us. So I'm really, really excited about the development of Deuce as a sixth man that can give us some versatility offensively, especially because, we have Campaign. I love Campaign. He's shaky. He's a little bit shaky. I love the defense. I love the passion. I love that he can score in bunches, hit threes. He's been a little bit shaky. Shamet as well. I'm still hoping he'll come around to be more consistent for us. He only played 4 minutes, didn't play well, looked a little bit shaky. Also, the Nuggets are a tall team, so Tiz might have been hesitant to bring him back in because of the height disparity with this team. But Landry Shamet has been a little bit shaky, so we're going to depend on Deuce to give us more scoring punch more consistently. So I'm keeping an eye on that to see how he develops as a scorer off the bench for sure. But shout out to the chat real quick. I see you guys. Shout out to S Parker. Shout out to Africa Bob. Shout out to Jean Mark. Shout out to Gamer Channel. Shout out to Prezi the Boss, Fritz Alessandro. Everybody rocking with the KOT show. Kareem, I'll see you. Also, shout out to people in TikTok land. If you like the channel, hit that like, subscribe. We here after every game talking Knicks basketball, so hopefully you're enjoying the show and the breakdown. All right. Also, shout out to the $2. Shout out to Sandman. This is a $2 super chat. I see you, Sandman. He says, impressive win. If we beat Houston, we are legit. Yo, and for sure, there's a couple of games that I am circling on the calendar. One of them is the Houston game. The other one is the Celtics game. Both of those guys are rugged teams who defend well, who are long, who switch on us. Those are the teams that we usually struggle against. We already beat the Atlanta Hawks. That team is the team that switches a lot. And I think we've learned something from beating the Hawks as handily as he did before. Hopefully we can take that momentum and that archetype of team and apply it to the Celtics and the Houston Rockets coming up soon. So I'm with you with that on saying, man. Beating teams like that is gonna make me feel like we're really legit. Well, welcome back, Ebony. Welcome back.
Yeah, a little chaos at the house. Sorry.
So it's fine. That's
but
fine. I was just talking about Deuce McBride and his performance off the bench, and I also was talking about Precious Achiuwa off the bench as well. So if you want to add on to what those guys did to the game, add to the game, you can go ahead and talk about that.
I of course I got to talk about my guy Deuce. Of course, Deuce. I'm gonna keep saying it every game. He shows his growth. And now he's confident with his growth. It looks like he believes he can get what he wants when he wants to. Also, he had some shots where he made it himself. Especially when we went through a little drought, he had hit like 2 tough back-to-back buckets for us. I believe it was like 5 points straight from Deuce kind of vibes, a pull-up 3 or pick and roll 3, and I think he had like a pull-up. He's getting very, very almost automatic with that pull-up mid-range shot he has. Keeping his dribble alive when there's nothing there, just to give us a chance still, like growth. Precious, the same thing. Him being able to see Jokic and be like, okay, I'm going to attack you. I'm going to attack you. Granted, he didn't always make this shot, but he definitely was being aggressive offensively and doing his thing on defense, like, bringing the energy on that. And also, so today, the left-handed layup just was not Precious's friend. It was not his friend today. He did not make a left-handed layup, but I appreciate the fact that he was aggressive, trying to make the way we attacked Murray and Jokic. You remember how we kind of teams was attacking Brunson and and Brunson and Cat. So it made me laugh a little bit with that, because we definitely did that today. As soon as anybody seen Murray or Jokic, they attacked them.
I'm not gonna lie, I felt like we were like a better version of the Nuggets. I'm not gonna hold you.
Yeah, I feel like this team is more where the Nuggets were in a championship run than the Nuggets are right now. They're very starter heavy. They're not all that deep, even though their bench did hold their own today. They're not a deep team. As you see, they brought Russell Westbrook into their starting lineup. But yeah, I just love the bench. Even Payne crazy self. Again, I know he has irrational confidence, but that irrational confidence is the type that he'll see Jokic and say, okay, I'm going to take this. I don't care. MVP what? I'm taking you off the dribble.
Yo.
And that confidence also let him take that terrible shot.
Oh my gosh. Feast and famine, the two plays that stood out the most, taking Jokic off the dribble to get him that foul, and taking that horrid 3-point shot that clanked off the side of the rim backboard. Oh my God. I was like.
But he redeemed himself though, Jay. He redeemed himself. He drew that foul on the next defensive play, and that was off a hustle and help rotation. So again, adjustments. I never quit adjustments. And I don't know if you spoke about Hart, but he didn't have a big rebounding game today, but he did other things. I've always called Hart an emergency exit. Remember that he used to get a lot of grenades. He would get a lot of grenades as the shot clock went down, but this time it was a good emergency exit. His cutting helps and helps Jalen Brunson out a lot.
Yeah.
When they're doubling him or they cut him off, his cutting was definitely clutch today in that third quarter, and just some of his energy. I think that play that when he hustled and took away the fast break opportunity,
that was a big play.
It kind of helped shift the energy of the game. So stuff like that, I know it doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but those are huge winning plays, and it helped shift the momentum because Denver was going on a run.
Yeah, it's funny. I feel like he didn't get the rebounds he usually gets because they had the other under 6 foot under 6'5" rebounder on the
Yeah,
floor in Russell Westbrook.
Westbrook. Yeah, facts.
So
And
it's kind of
Aaron
like the
Gordon does.
Spider-Man meme type of thing, but like Russell's the original one, so he was still able to
Mhm.
get his.
Yeah, they got two like players like that with Russell Westbrook and Aaron Gordon. You know, that straight hustle and grit.
Right.
That's that.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah,
like you said though, like the timely stops, the timely deflections from Hart was crazy, and the timely cuts in the fourth quarter was helping to bust the game open. Because it's funny, watching Russell and Josh play, man. Because sometimes I'm looking at them like, man, they kind of play a really similar. They
mhm.
play really similar, yo.
Just aggressive and all out all the time, on 100 all the
Yeah.
time.
Even how they finish, they even finished around the basket similarly, like where they just run into you mad hard and get these tough baskets around the glass, and that's what we got from Josh Hart today on the defensive end. The jump shot wasn't really going, but the four ways to the basket was hitting for us, and especially in crucial moments. So yeah, good game from Josh Hart. Sure. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
hey yo,
definitely.
Ebony though, like, do you have any worries about Karl Anthony Towns' hand?
Um, right as of right now, no, because it hasn't been a detriment to the team right now. It's just giving other people chances to on offense would get a couple of looks. Another adjustment, I don't know if it's Tibbs or the team or whatever, is that I had to give them their props on is the point center cat. We started the game out with I think he had like 5 assists in the first quarter.
Yeah.
We started the game out with him primarily as the playmaker, as the ball handler or the person at the top of the key.
Mm-hmm.
That keeps defenses very honest, and then you factor in a couple of drives every once in a while, get some and ones. He's keeping the defense still honest in that, and so I can say it's not a problem because he's finding ways to affect his, show his presence on offense in other ways.
Right.
Um, his playmaking is huge, and again, it takes the bigs away from the rim protect. They don't. Not many people have many rim protectors. Sorry, that word's kicking my butt. Rim protectors. uh, in this league. So when you take away one of them, and you have the likes of a moving McHale and the likes of an OG who's no hesitation right now at all, you're going to get a lot of cutting, and that's what Hart was benefiting too. It was no big down there because he up at the top of the key. He able to do his cutting and moving freely, his little float game, get others involved. So if he can't have his 30 or I mean, what was he averaging before? 20 something points, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he can't get to 20 something points, but we could get games like that we got from OG and more production from Hart, it makes up for that.
Yeah, his versatility is really showing because he was 0 for 4 from three today. But he has a speed advantage over Jokic. So whenever he's able to blow by him, there's no really resistance at the rim. So he's able to get a lot of line drives and easy dunks that way. Like you already said, the passing was there. And then he just kind of got active, man, just getting on the offensive board. He got
Mm-hmm.
he got a few offensive boards. We didn't have a lot of offensive rebounds today, but there was a few big ones from Karl Anthony Towns in the fourth quarter that kind of got him going and kept us afloat when the Nuggets was trying to make a run. So it's I'm hoping that thing is kind of settled for the playoffs. This is one of those times where I'm like, damn, he has the All-Star game coming up. He don't have that rest like I want him to have. Hopefully when he plays like 2 minutes in the All-Star game and rest up his hand, because I really want that thing to heal because it still seems like it's bothering his shooting hand, but it hasn't. His offensive production has dipped, but he's so versatile and we have so many other weapons that it hasn't really hurt us.
Yeah, well said, definitely. I'm not panicking just yet. I noticed that he can't. I'm sorry. That 3 point doesn't look confident right now. I get it. But the fact that he's just not sulking about it and finding other ways, and even if I can't get the basket, if I could get my teammate the best available basket, it's still a win in offense, period. So yeah, the team looks like they bought in. They're bought even shout out OG. I'm impressed by his offensive approach lately also doing it in multiple different ways, and there's no hesitation. It's not 1,000 dribbles to get into your move or him
Right.
looking like thinking like, okay, maybe I should take him now. It's just straight. He hit somebody with a jab step and pulled up in their face. I'm like, okay, OG,
Yeah,
okay.
getting confident
Like I
now.
like that. Yeah, confident and decisive, like very decisive. Is not giving the defense time to recover or think. He just like, all right, you think you got me, but you don't.
Yo,
And I like that.
now OG from the well, first of all, the pace of the Knicks is playing with is quicker than it has been all season. This is probably the second game or third game where the Knicks were pushing off of makes and misses and not just misses. Uh, and it was also the second game in a row where I feel like they were really leaking out a lot. I don't feel like we were like a leak out team, but that last game, the game before that, I feel like Mikal Bridges was leaking out. And today, OG was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm gonna do the same thing he did. I'm gonna take a page from his book. I'm gonna leak out today too. So he got like his first 6 or 8 points, I feel like, just leaking out on defense. And then when you have a guy like Josh Hart and Cat rebounding the ball so securely, it's almost like you're not giving up nothing if you're leaking out. So I felt like he got into rhythm leaking out. Then that corner three that was so elusive for a lot of the year came back to him to the point where as soon as it touched his fingers, he just let it go and it just looked good. It looked fluid and it looked smooth. And you just knew it was going in as soon as he touched it. And I was like, okay, this is the OG that we started to see last season when we traded for him. He was just automatic in the corner and we just knew it was going to happen. So like that, I feel like that rest, he's still benefiting from that 3 or 4 days off from rest. And he's kind of regained his energy level on both sides of the ball. Actually, he's been more active defensively and he's been more efficient offensively. He shot 71% from three, was 9 of 15 from the field today. He was probably, he was one of the most efficient Knicks outside of Jalen Brunson today. So I don't know what it is about the Nuggets. When OG sees the Nuggets, he just goes crazy because he had 40 points, career high. I think it was career high in November versus the Nuggets. And he followed it up with 23 points and a plus 15 today. Second highest plus minus on the night after Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, OG did it. Definitely, OG did his thing. Both ends. I'm happy for him finding him being comfortable in offense and with this team, feeling like he has found his role, his spot, and I hope to see it continue. We get a little 2-day rest, so hopefully that helps us some more.
Right.
And yeah, even he's hitting them shots like that we mentioned before that he was missing, the ones that we needed. He just hit them. I think he was 100% at halftime from three. That was one of my notes. Get OG more looks. He was perfect from the field in halftime. So well, not the field, from 3-pointer, that is. And it was Mikal that was struggling a little bit offensively. He couldn't get anything to drop down. But he stuck with it. He was getting good looks, so he stuck with it. And when he did get a 3-pointer, he said, "About effing
Yeah,
time."
exactly. You know what it is with Mikal this game? I felt like he was expending so much energy chasing Jamal Murray around. I kind of think it took his legs because he was running hard in that first half too.
He was good, running very aggressively through picks all game,
Exactly.
all game. But when he made it, he was rejoiced. He said, "About
Exactly.
effing time," and he hit about two. I think it was 2 big threes in that fourth quarter that we needed to like get some separation. So when we needed it, he hit it, and he was getting good looks. So it wasn't like it was terrible shots that he was taking. It was good looks, just wasn't going down. But he stuck with it.
Yeah, he definitely stuck with it. And like don't let the Murray 30-point game fool you. Because even though Murray scored 30, like the Cal made it tough for Murray. He made it tough for Murray. For the first half, Murray couldn't really get anything going. When Mikal is playing him in general, when Mikal are playing these guards one-on-one, that's when these guards have the most problems. For sure. Like I feel like that's when you really start to see the deflections and the defensive instincts and the length of Mikal when he's playing these one-on-one. When it comes to pick and roll, he's been good, but like I said, when it's pick and roll defense, it's not always just the point of attack defender. It's also the guy helping you how they respond that's going to keep you in the play. And I kind of feel like that's when Jamal was able to kind of get going more on those pick and roll type of deals. But like even Mikal, I just what I love about Mikal is when he's locked in, even when he gets screened off, he tries to work his way back into the play. But overall, didn't score well today, but had some good defensive. What's the word I'm looking for? Moments by Mikal versus Jamal Murray. Even though Murray had 30 plus.
And you said it. A lot of the pick and roll, and it wasn't mainly his fault. You know, Cat has he has a habit of dropping. We know this. So a couple times that happened, and just Mikal he making them go 2 or 3 moves. So that's good defense. You know, making somebody go into a couple of their moves, and I felt that we had an answer for every Denver run. That's what happened. That third quarter, they kind of came out strong and they started attacking our flaws, which was they tried to get into transition a little bit. They started putting us in the pick and roll. You know, things that we struggled with during the season. They were trying to do in that third quarter, and I thought the Knicks did a great job adjusting and not getting their focus back in those positions to not let them keep going at those floors.
Right. And then it's like we got Wingstop to help kind of litigate this type of stuff. And that's when you start to see OG kind of put his foot down. He's like, you know what? I'm not just going to have you just be pick and roll, picking on Brunson and Cat. I'm going to help in a few times, poke the ball away, and get us in transition. So I thought OG just being a help defender and some of those pick and roll actions really, really helped us, especially in that fourth quarter. For sure.
Yeah, definitely. Wingstop, like Felicia, I saw the comment. She said Wingstop has finally arrived. I believe so.
Yeah.
I definitely believe so. And that third quarter, Murray, I think before he got his fourth foul, had 10 points in the quarter at the time. So he was doing it in spurts because of the first quarter, I think he had like 11 points. So, he had like these runs during the game. It wasn't consistent. It was just little spurts in the game that he would explode. Pause. And Brunson, again, New York had an answer for that. It was Brunson. Brunson in that third quarter, they said, I think the stat on ESPN was he had assisted or scored on 22 points in that quarter. That's huge. So, our guard said, "Oh, you think you doing something? Let me show you how you do something and get everybody else involved."
Right.
So yeah, it was I just love that we answered. And then when they tried to go on a run again, Deuce and them kind of gave an answer and helped us out there when our offense was trying to get a little stagnant. So yes, like Nick Yak said, he had some tough dimes. It was a couple times where in the earlier part of the season, he would have took the shot, but he jumped up in the air a couple times and gave a little pass, little bounce pass instead of committing to the shot when he didn't have it. So again, growth. We see growth from our entire team, and I love it. Just adjusting, not making the same mistakes, not being insane.
Right, exactly. Growth, damn it. Growth.
Yes.
And I feel like we're starting to creep up to the defensive standings a little bit. It's small steps, but it's small. We were 15th. I know I looked at one day, we were 15th in defensive rating. I think we moved up to 13th. I would like to be in that top 10. Because if we're top 2 in offense and creeping into that top 10 in defense, we're really seriously a contending team at that point. Over these last 3 games, I think the turnovers that we've been producing are the turnovers of a team that's elite defensively. So hopefully we can keep that type of momentum up into the upcoming games and against these tougher teams, because that really proved to me and to the NBA that the Knicks defense is for real and that they really should be taken seriously.
Yeah, I agree. I have 2 things on that. One, with the Knicks defense, it seems like we've taken the philosophy of other teams and how they play us and doing it against other teams now. We ran off the Denver off that 3-point line all game. We ran them off. We'll take that too. We'll make you take a tough contested 2. And we're gonna come down this court and hit you in the head with a 3.
That's a fact, yo. And and the thing is, the Knicks have been really good at running them off the line, but then like they've been really good at having a rotational player meet somebody at the rim and not foul, like, for the most part.
Yeah.
Like, and that's been a
And
trend for
yeah,
the last few games. That's been really, really impressive. And Tips talked about that in a couple of post games and interviews about how, like, hey, we want to run people off the line. Like, I know, like, defensive percentages is a thing, but to me, the best defense is not having them take the three at all. So we really try to have them run off the line. And if even if you can't have them run off the line, at least get a tight contest. And
yeah,
it
they've been
seems like
contesting it
those
behind
words
those.
are whatever they practicing or the techniques they're practicing to do that, they're actually executing it right now, and it's good to see.
Remember, I used to be like, if y'all in the gym, get the film work. It looked like they're at the film room.
That's a
They're in
fact.
the film room because again, the rotations, the defensive rotations have been on point. And like you mentioned, even if we do give a three, they're contesting it. I think it was Josh Hart and them. He contest they pause contesting hard too. Like and like you mentioned, without fouling, without landing in the landing space and things of that nature. Smart, hard defense because we're still not averaging a lot of blocks. We're just playing good positional defense right now.
Right.
And the second thing to my comment mentioning that is it looks like they're implementing stuff and towards Mitch's return also. Because if you running people off the 3-point line now and you got your rim protector waiting there,
Mm.
what does that look like?
That's a block. That's what it look like.
What does that look like? Because we are definitely closing out and running people off the line. And then again, if you have your rim protector behind there, that's just going to be take your soul type of defense. I like that the way that sounds.
Yeah, and just food for thought for those who don't know, Knicks right now are fifth in the NBA in net rating. All right, in the entire league, number 2 offense, number 13 defense with room to grow. Listen, if our defense just grows a little bit, you gonna turn around and be number 1 net rating in the NBA. Then we're really gonna have to start having these championship contender type conversations in that
Facts
second
on
half of the season.
facts. Yes. And just the defense, as you mentioned, that's one of the key things that's separating us from these teams right now is that we don't have to solely depend just on our half court offense that was struggling at times and could get stagnant because they're used to seeing the sets over and over in the game. You get what I mean? So if you're doing the sets over and over, eventually you make adjustments. Well, good teams do. And that's what we will see in the fourth quarter. But if you switch it up and you got a little transition, you got the movement, JB goes here and then OG goes here, and that's hard to guard. And because the other players are producing the way they are, it lets Brunson be more free, because teams can't double team him
They cannot.
and Tibbs taking the ball out of Brunson's hand all the time, so he's not in front of the defense. That's worked out perfectly too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, yo. Salute to the chat. I feel like I talked about everything, so I'm gonna just talk. I'm gonna just
Yeah.
shout the chat. Nick Yak says McBride come back with a big second half. He was dishing and creating. Now mid range,
Mm-hmm.
that's money. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Welcome, Nick Yak. Alerco with the fire emojis. Must be joining the conversation. Salute to you. Felicia says salute to you, Jay Ellis and Ebony. I see you. Salute KOT from the Predicate. Shout out to you. Shout out to Corey Lee. Shout out to Stanley Nowak. Shout out to Jean Marc. Shout out to Kehinde Alahe. I feel like I've seen a new user. Shout out to Ala Wise. Deras. Shout out to you as well. Everybody else's markets. Brooklyn Butch. I see you. Who else in East Blue Drew? I see you. Everybody else is rocking with the KOT show. I appreciate you guys. I feel like I've seen somebody. Myth, I see you. Gaming channel, I see you. Salute to you guys. If you like the show, hit that like and subscribe and share. Let people know that the KOT is here and we're here to stay and you're feeling that breakdown. Shout out to my brother Lee, who is sick with a cold. He's been battling it all week. You know where it is. It's cold flu season. But hopefully he'll be back soon. And we'll see if he'll be back for that Lakers game on Saturday. And also for you guys, Dexter Henry will be here for the Knicks Houston Rockets game. I know I'm looking for revenge. I'm waiting. I can't wait to play the Rockets. Right now, the Knicks is kind of grown as a team since we first played the Rockets. So I'm really looking forward to playing the Rockets and the Celtics specifically coming up for sure.
Me too. We need they owe.
Yeah. Pay what you owe. Exactly. We owe them a butt whooping for sure. For sure.
Yeah. I
I
don't know if you read the other super chat. It was a super chat.
Oh, what is that? Wait, is that? Hold on.
Gene Mark. Did you read John Mark?
Appreciate the shout out to John Mark who sends a $5 super chat. Thank you, my guy. He said a signature win tonight. Shout out to Precious. I don't know why folks want to trade him. Yeah, man, Precious is playing well and he's coming on. He's coming on, man. He's coming on at a good time, perfect time. And he's getting more and more comfortable. All right. Also, shout out Roberto Gonzalez out there in TikTok land as well. I see you, Roberto Gonzalez. All right. All right, cool. Anything else you want to add before we get into these ooh picks or bruh picks?
No, just Precious, that left hand, he got it in the gym. Just that's it. But I love Precious. I wouldn't trade him. He's definitely a type of player that you would love to have on your team, just in different situations, because he allows you to be like another Swiss Army knife, somebody that doesn't need the ball to impact the game. So I don't get I don't get why people want to trade him. I don't know why they want to trade anybody on this team. I think it's very well built, to be honest.
Ebony's usually the person who doesn't want to trade anybody on the team. She gets very attached.
No, it's just team wise. If you think about it, they pick each other up. You don't want to mess up camaraderie.
I feel you. We've had many discussions last year about trading people, and you was like, no, don't trade it. Every time a trade happened, he was upset. But I'm with you this year, Ebony. I'm with you this year. I'm cool with keeping the team the way it is right now and riding out into the sunset or to the playoffs to see how this team performs. I'm with it. I'm definitely with it. All right.
We got another super chat. I see you, Corey Lee. Shout out to Corey Lee.
Yeah, shout out to Corey Lee. Sends a $2 super chat. Since sending a message for Ebony. Says the butcher is coming.
On his way.
Number 23. If you didn't know who number 23 is, you already know it's not Jordan.
23 Savage.
It is the Savage. It's Mitchell Robinson. Number 23 is coming. Can't wait for your return. All right.
Mitchell blocking son.
The big sneeze Achiuwa. Yo, whoever came with that nickname needs a prize. Whoever called him the big sneeze needs a prize. I was laughing when they say that. That is a masterful nickname. Give that man or woman some money.
Big sneeze. That was funny.
And it's funny they said that name. They said that nickname on ESPN, but I think somebody from Twitter actually coined that phrase. And
I'm pretty sure it was Twitter because I'm not giving ESPN that credit.
Yeah, because Fred Katz
had to be Twitter.
Fred Katz tweeted that yesterday. That somebody came up with it, and somebody tagged the person who came up with it yesterday, and now it hit ESPN. So, yeah, I think whoever said it on ESPN follows Fred Katz on Twitter for sure. All right.
They say now that they're not on Twitter, but it's too many coincidences.
Yeah. The big sneeze is a very, very specific nickname that I don't know. I don't know about that. Let's get to it though. It's time. This is the favorite part of the show. Now it's time for the bruh picks. All right. Bruh picks are usually the worst plays of the day. Sometimes not a play. Sometimes it's an event that you want to point out and say, this is stupid, this is dumb, this is idiotic, this is a bruh. And I'm picking it to highlight it. So, Ebony, what's your bruh pick today?
I only have one. Well, I have two, but I'm tired of talking about the state of our country and our politics and the people who voted for the hate.
Yeah.
And now they're regretting it. So I'm gonna leave that alone. But I'm gonna go with the commissioner of the NBA, Adam Silver. there's a lot of ways to improve the NBA. Cutting the games down to be shorter, I don't think that's it. Um, let's start. Let's start with maybe the referees.
Yeah.
Let's start with maybe there. Let's get there and work with the call and what's a foul and what's the travel and allowing and egos and all of this nature. Maybe we started there. It'll look a little different. And again, maybe if this CBA wasn't like it was, we wouldn't be at where we at, where teams can't really fill out their roster the way they want to because they have a lot of restrictions and all this other. If you get here, you get penalized and this and this and that. Um, he every time he shows me why I'm not a fan, because to me he's trying to make the NBA entertainment. Is already entertainment. What makes it entertainment is the competition, is the competitiveness, is the edge on both ends. Right now it's so robotic on the NBA. It's either 3 points or a dunk. It's no mid range like or the New York, we do mid range. That's why we're
Right.
doing so well right now. But other teams is either 3 pointers or
Yeah.
points in the paint. It becomes repetitive and it becomes boring. So another reason you asking why ratings are the way they are. Nobody wants to see a bunch of people be in an All-Star game for 82 games. That's why the All-Star game doesn't do well.
That's funny.
But shortening up the game is not it. And I think it would take away from learning about a lot of players and their progression, actually, because it's going to be enough minutes basically for the starters and maybe a couple bench players. I'm waiting for Disney to him to go to Disney. Wasn't he supposed to get a deal
Oh
for Disney,
man.
or did that fall through?
You know what, Ebony? I'm with you, man. Cutting the NBA to 40 minutes to me is a horrible idea. Why are you taking minutes away from the game we love? Just leave it. Just leave it. Let the length of the game be what it is. Like I don't think that should be touched at all. So I'm with you on that, bro.
Yeah.
I don't agree with like is Adam Silver the reason why we shoot so many threes now? That's NBA teams. NBA teams are copying the
copying. Yeah, is a space of copying, but I think the analytics,
right?
Which is that's an Adam Silver thing. Analytics and the things that was implemented more in the Adam Silver's term, and it's said to help get other people jobs in the NBA. That's what the rumor was that was to help to get the sons and uncles of people's jobs.
That's the only one I don't agree with, because like he's not coaching those teams. If the team concept says, "Hey, I don't want you to shoot a bunch of threes. I want to go against the grain," then the coach is going to be able to tell them.
When analytics told the whole league for a minute, more people are going back to the mid range, but they told the whole league that the mid range was a shot that made no sense. Is a shot that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't have added value. It's just a longer layup, basically, kind of vibes. And the fact that the way he penalizes the defense with his referees, the way they call stuff, the lack of hand checking, the take foul, those things like that penalizes the defense. So you don't play as aggressive. You can't keep people in front of you. And you get points on. So now you either get a 3-pointer or a dunk. Again, that's not what real people who enjoy the X's and O's really want to see all day.
Well, I like my Knicks team because we got a bunch of 3-level scorers on that joint. So We'll let everybody else shoot threes and we do what we do. And you know what happened? If somebody wins the chip playing 3 levels, everybody's gonna copycat that. That's just the way it goes. The Celtics won last season shooting threes, so now everybody's gonna copy the Celtics. Like that's just how it goes.
I think a lot of people copying us. They saw that how far we went with the team we had, and now trying to get a bunch of two-way players. That seems to be the thing. Get as many two-way players as you can right now, because it's not a lot of people who play on that end. They can play smart on that end, rather, in today's
that's a fact.
League.
I mean, that's a fact. The only thing is, with the new CBA, you can't pay for those two-way players. Two-way wing players that are tall are expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can get two-way players that are under 6'5", But like once you start getting two-way players over 6'7", those cost bread.
Felicia said, "How about we decrease the back-to-backs?" I could get with that. I definitely could get with that.
I feel like the Knicks. I feel like they tried to do that by decreasing the preseason and doing, but it's like I feel like the only way to really decrease the back-to-back is to make the season longer. And I don't know if they're gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Like instead of going like go like have it like be like 1 month extra or something crazy like that. But I don't know if they're willing to do that.
Yeah,
But they're already cut into the preseason and they're already complaining about the short preseason. So I don't know.
They shortened the preseason because they were trying to do that play-in tournament vibes, right? That's what
They were shorting the
was.
preseason because they were trying to give more get the players more rest. Like there was a couple of years ago where a bunch of players were getting injured a lot. And it was like, okay, what if we shorten the preseason, try to spread out the games a little bit more? But like there's still back-to-backs. So it's like
I think if they allow more defense to be played, it'll limit the amount of back and forth. You understand? Like, because right now it's just a track meet with a basketball. Back and forth. Everybody, when you watch other games, it's just like three after three, just running to the 3-point line. But it's just constant movement. And some doctors believe load management really might be with the amount of not playing might be a detriment to some players.
Interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, but yeah, Adam Silver. I thought he was going. I thought they said he was going to Disney. I guess that fell through.
Guess not.
Now he treating the NBA like Disney.
Guess not. Oh well. I don't really have any bruh picks. I've seen somebody say Isaiah Stewart should be a bruh pick. Isaiah Stewart almost had like the second coming of Malice to the Palace. Shoving the player to the floor today. Shoving the player to the floor on the Pacers game. And then I saw a clip of him like shooting gun fingers at the player's bench. So Isaiah, man, he's a loose cannon sometimes, but you say you want a goon. A lot of times. That guy's a goon, so
yeah. There was I seen on Twitter, I think it might have been Detroit Pistons post. Is the Bad Boys Pistons back?
Yeah, that's the crazy part. Like the Pistons social media team is leading into it. They're like, yeah, we got goons again.
I guess they said that's the last. We won the championship with two teams with goons. Well, let's not try to recreate it.
Exactly.
Remember when they had Rashid and them? You know what I'm saying? So. And I guess they was trying to,
and then the Isaiah team, exactly,
and then the Isaiah team. So they trying to recreate that, but I don't want. I like his aggressiveness on other people's team because I know that can't be turned off, and how it could be on a con side of it. Like today, I'm pretty sure they needed them because they played it. Who they play? Pretty good. Oh, they played the Pacers.
Yeah, they played the Pacers.
Who playing better right now and around in their standings, right? So I'm pretty sure they needed them. Did they win today? Did they win that game?
I'm not even sure if they won that game.
I'm gonna go check. I'm not sure if they won either, but I'm pretty sure.
What happened with the Celtics game?
Oh, they blew out Chicago.
Come on, Chicago.
22 points. And Chicago just beat Denver. They must have left it all on the court when they played Denver because Denver had lost 2 games in a row, and it was to Chicago and Minnesota.
Okay.
But
yeah, Chicago beat them before, so they had to get back. They wasn't gonna lose to them again.
Chicago they got dominated in the paint, 84-38. This is funny, but Denver lost because they shot 22% from 3-pointer.
Here we go
again. Another
Lock
team, trading
up.
2s for 3s. Yeah,
that's all I like to hear.
I'm trying to see if he did. I can't find the game. I don't know if they won or not. Oh, nope. They got blown out. They lost 133-119.
Damn, all that to get blown out is crazy. Okay, well.
Yeah. It might have been closer had their center that they trying to get on the Knicks, that people want on the Knicks, kept his cool. But I think that would be that thing of hell.
I'm not gonna lie though. I like Isaiah. You talking about? I like Isaiah Stewart though. I don't blame people for wanting him on the Knicks.
I like him, but it's some people you gotta like from a distance, and he's one of them.
You know what it is? I've grown up in a Knicks culture where we had Charles Oakley. Okay, so a little.
No, I get it. I like players like that. I just know he's
thug life don't scare me.
He's a little loose cannon. And does that work? Would that work in the locker room though? With our goofy type players, would that work?
I don't think as long as it's directed at the other team, that's fine. That's fine as long as it's not a Draymond Green situation, you know.
Well, I think him and Draymond have a lot of things in common.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna hold you. So
yeah, as long as it's not a Draymond Green, he's a cleaner version of Draymond.
You said it. I don't know. That's yet to be determined.
Like Draymond does
Isaiah
dirty.
Stewart still got some games to show.
Yeah, I mean,
this the same man that chased LeBron James all over court.
Nah, the thing is, I feel like the difference between Stewart and Draymond is Draymond will do something and claim it's an accident. Stewart will just do it. That's why I feel like he's a cleaner version. Draymond will kick you in the nuts, like, I don't know how that happened. My foot just happened to be magnetically attracted to your nuts. Stewart would just shove you to the ground and punch you in the face and be like, what?
Yeah. I don't know. That baby need therapy. He need to go to therapy before he get here, because I can see somebody intentionally getting in his head because they know he gonna react. You know, one of those type players that you know, okay, let's get him out of here. What you gotta do is get under his skin. I don't like them when players like that.
I feel you.
Because players do target that.
I feel you.
I like him. I mean,
we're not gonna trade him anyway. He costs too much.
And he's from New York, so I'm a rock out with him. But I don't know if I'm gonna rock out him on this New York team.
Right. I mean, he costs 21 mil anyway, so we're not gonna trade for him because that would we have to trade multiple players to get him. So I don't see that happening anyway. But he's a interesting player for sure.
Yeah, he is.
All right, yo. All right, that's the show. Thank you guys for watching. Shout out to the chat. Thank you guys for rocking with us. Just shout out to everybody on YouTube, S. Parker, Jean Mark, Africa Bob, The Predicate, Stanley Nowak, everybody rocking with the KOT show on YouTube. Shout out to TikTok as well. Ebony, let them know where I can find you.
You can find me here on KOT after every Knick game. You can find me on Twitter at Mad Knick Fan, and I do the pregame space called Your Take Knick. So you can find me every pregame on Twitter too. I'm on Twitch, Twitter, of course, TikTok, and Instagram at Mad Knick Fan.
Got you.
And balling with the Queens on the weekends to recap the Unrivaled, which is been very fun, and it's helped the W's off season be very entertaining already. Only the second day, so a lot of moves already. But yeah, that's it.
That's what's up. So definitely check out Ebony on all those platforms. Check out all that work she be doing. All right. You can follow us on the KOT Show on Twitter, the Knick of Time Show on Instagram, and the Knick of Time Show on Facebook as well. And remember, Knicks Rockets. Dexter Henry will be joining us for Knicks Rockets. So be here for that Knicks Rockets game. Okay. All right. That's the show, guys. Thank you guys for watching. And as always,
shout out the Worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
It's a mess out here in these Knicks streets. That's the show. We out this mug. Peace.
York, New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.